All right, we should have everything up and running now. I'm gonna double check. I'm gonna get the link tweeted out, and then I'll get into everything. Most of what I have today to kind of go over is gonna be um, uh, most everything that I have today is gonna be um, golf, NBA, and then I'll talk in NBA MVP. I did not tweet out the link. I sit there and checked on everything else. Um, but yeah, I have a huge slate for golf this weekend, as always. Um, and so I'll get that whole thing out. I made a video the other day just kind of talking about winners and then first round matchups and all that sort of fun stuff. But I'll go ahead and I'll go ahead and just run over the golf stuff real quick because it's going to be short and sweet, and then I have a lot more to say about NBA college basketball type stuff tonight. Um, so the first thing I'll do for golf is my winners, which I've already kind of told you guys. The three guys that I'm going big on are Tony Finau at 21-1, Jason Day at 37-1, and Billy Horschel at 46-1. Finau, I know like the thing with him is he can't finish. It's always been his issue. But we're gonna keep riding with him. I think he's playing a lot better this year. Consistently, just these first two events have looked really, really good. So I'm going to keep riding with him. I have confidence that he's going to break through at some point. So I think betting on him at 21-1 is a really good deal. Jason Day at 37-1. He's won the event twice. I want to say his most recent victory was 2018. So although Jason Day is not the same golfer he was a few years ago, it's still really, really good number to get him at 37-1. And then Billy Horschel at 46-1. I talked in the video yesterday about how Horschel's just kind of my guy. I like him to compete in all the majors this year, so I'm probably going to bet him pretty consistently all through the season. My top 10 plays, for guys to finish top 10, I have Finau at plus 170, Jason Day at plus 280, and then Ryan Palmer at plus 550. He's played really well at this event the past few years, so I look for him to continue that trend. And then my top 20 plays, I'm going to move this up here so I can see it a little better. I have Mark Leishman at plus 170, Victor Hovland at plus 170, Ryan Palmer again at plus 250, Alex Noren at plus 320, Louis Oosthuizen at plus 360, and then Brant Snedker at plus 500 to finish top 20. It's actually one of my favorite bets of the weekend. Again, won the event twice, most recently 2016. So I like for him to be competitive. Um, and a top 20 is very realistic. And I think 5-1 is just a super, super good number to get him at. So we'll take that. My matchups, I have three of them, 2 units on each of these. So I have Tony Finau plus 108 versus Shoffley, Matsuyama minus 102 versus English, and then Jason Day plus 108 versus Patrick Reed. So that's kind of my matchups for the whole tournament. And then I have two group plays. So I have Matt Wolf plus 240 versus Brooks Koepka, uh, Sung J M, and Victor Hovland, and then Mark Leishman plus 230 versus Scott Davison Smith. Um, again, just guys that play well and guys that don't. And I think that Wolf is kind of more of a stretch than Leishman there, especially considering Brooks and Hovland are both in that group and both have pretty good odds to be competitive this weekend. My round one matchups that I have are Malnati plus 185 versus Glover and Dahmen. Homa plus 125 versus Stricker and Mitchell, and that's not looking great right now, which they are underway. Will Gordon's in the lead. As I'm looking at the leaderboard right now, he's 3 under. 2 under, we're seeing Perez, Sabatini, Gooch, and Hovland just joined them as well. Patrick Reed is there now. But yeah, a really, really rough start for Max Homa and Billy Horschel as well. Billy Horschel is now 3 over through 4. Max Homa is 2 over through 2. But luckily for Homa, Mitchell and Stricker are neither playing great. So that round one matchup still alive. The other round one matchups that I have are Bubba Watson plus 200 versus Ricky Fowler and Patrick Reed. Again, Patrick Reed playing well. Charlie Hoffman plus 145 versus Han and No. And then Alex Noren plus 110 versus Lahiri and Wilkinson. I went ahead and did a parlay um, for round one matchups. And of course, neither of them looking great because I have Homa plus 125 versus Stricker and Mitchell in there, Horschel minus 110 versus Potter and Duffner, Finau minus 140 versus Snitker and Perez, and then Hovland minus 110 versus Griffin and Kim. That's a round one parlay, so just what they do on Thursday. Luckily for Homa and Herschel, although the starts aren't great, the other guys in their groups are not playing well at all either. So that's still alive. I'm not too worried about it. Patrick Reed playing well kind of throws a wrench in a few of the things I have. And then, of course, Billy Horschel being 3 over to start. Not great for me, but that's okay. Well, the golf stuff's been working out. We're up a ton of units on the year. I don't even know what the number is right now. I can look it up really quickly, though. For golf, we're sitting at plus 39 units. And I have a system going. I've played over 100 plays in the last 2 events. So it's kind of just every day betting those 3 ball matchups, those 6 shooters, betting live winners every day, and keeping up with the top 10, top 20s. And I've had some success. So I'm not too worried about if things start slow, but more confident in these picks than I have been in the first 2 events. So that's all that we have going for golf. I'm not going to spend much more time talking about it because I talked about a lot of it in the video yesterday. Hockey picks today. I have one solo play, and that's the Canadians minus 124. They've just been playing well. I'm going to keep riding with them while they're playing hot. I have one 2-unit parlay at plus 179. Bruins money line, Wild money line. Wild are playing really well. Bruins just don't lose at home to the Penguins. It just doesn't happen. So we got 2 units to win over 3.5 there. The other parlay I have is plus 234. We got Flyers money line, Stars money line, Avalanche money line. Those are my 3 teams that I think I'm most confident in just winning outright tonight for hockey. So we have them at plus 234, just a unit on that. And then we do have a soccer play left over. I have Liverpool plus 115 versus Spurs. I think that number is actually down to like plus 105 or even, depending on where you're seeing it at. So I got the number a little early, but I do have Liverpool money line. And then basketball, I have Air Force minus 4.5. They've just been great ATS all year, so I'll keep playing that. And then I have University of California plus 7.5. Arizona State has really been struggling recently. California trending in the opposite direction for them. So 7.5 seemed like a really big number. Picked that up pretty early. And then 2 NBA plays where I have the Lakers minus 9.5 coming off a loss. Just seems right. And then the Warriors plus 2.5. They're probably resting some guys. I think they're playing Phoenix. But I still think that they're just kind of hot right now, and I want to stick with them while they're playing well. So Lakers minus 9.5, Warriors plus 2.5, Air Force minus 4.5, Cal plus 7.5, Liverpool money line, Canadians minus 124, and then 2 parlays with the Bruins and the Wild at plus 179. And the other parlay, we got Flyers, Stars, Avalanche money line plus 234. That's everything we have going today. Counting those first round matchups that we have from golf. So tons of action going on this Thursday. The last thing I wanted to talk about is the odds right now for the NBA MVP. And I kind of wrote this down because I think it's a weird situation and there's some factors that come into play. And right now, the top guys you're seeing Luka at plus 450, Durant at plus 600, Giannis, Jokic, and Embiid are all at plus 700. LeBron's plus 750. Steph is plus 1,000, and then Anthony Davis is 18-1 to win the MVP. I think that voter fatigue is very real, and it's definitely a thing, especially in NBA MVP voting. So seeing Giannis win it 3 times in a row, I just don't see that happening. So it's been kind of my play all year with looking at these MVP odds and looking at different props and stuff. I'm laying off of Giannis completely just because of voter fatigue. I don't want to touch him. So to me, it's between Luka and LeBron because LeBron's always going to be relevant in MVP voting. It's just how it is. His efficiency numbers are down. He's playing less defense year after year, but his team's still good. And if the Lakers are, in fact, the 1 seed in the West at the end of the year, which we all assume they will be, you got to think that him or AD is going to be up there. So for me, it's Luka versus LeBron is what the MVP race is right now. I know KD's up there, and I'll get into that in a second. But if it's me sitting here betting this, I'm thinking there's 2 possible options, and it's Luka Doncic and LeBron James. That's the 2 guys that you're looking at to win the MVP. So if I were in this I mean, I am in this situation. This is probably the way I'm going to end up hedging this whole thing. Is I'm just going to throw out arbitrary numbers to make the math work out on this. So if you see Luca right now at 4.5 to 1, you put 5 units on Luca at 4.5 to 1, that would yield you 22.5 units. And if you bet LeBron about half of that, so I said 2.5 units, it would yield you 18.75 units. So just between the two of them, Luca hits, you're plus 20 units. LeBron hits, you're plus 13, almost 14 units. That's fine. KD's definitely a possible player. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt because I think the Nets have an opportunity to be the 1 seed in the East. Again, we're staying away from Giannis because of voter fatigue. That's simple as that. So you put 2 units on Durant at plus 600. So that would yield you 12 units. So if you have all three of these plays, we're talking 5 on Luca, 2.5 on LeBron, and 2 on KD. What you're looking at total buyouts if Luca won 18 units, LeBron 11.75 units, and KD 4.5 units. It the math kind of, if you just narrow it down to those three, which I think are the three likely candidates, then you really, really, really have a chance to make some profit. A little bit on KD, a ton on Luca, and a decent amount on LeBron as well. And I think that those are the three players that you really want to look at. If you're convinced that the Lakers are going to get the 1 seed and get it, but you're not convinced on LeBron, because like I said, those efficiency numbers, defensive numbers, they're down. Points per game are down, but it's LeBron. He's still going to get votes. It's just how it's going to work. If you want to throw AD in there, despite AD not starting off great to start the season, you can get him at 18 to 1. So let's just say you throw AD in there, right? Take a unit off of what the total would be from those. If AD wins it, that would be 18 units, and you subtract the 9.5, subtract 10, you'd still win 8 units. If you want to throw AD in, it's just kind of a security blanket in case the Lakers get the 1 seed and LeBron doesn't get the MVP. Fine. But I think your legit shot here is going LeBron 2.5 units, Luca 5 units, and KD 2 units. Minimum payout on that right now would be 4.5 units if KD won it. LeBron wins it, you're looking at 11.75. Luca wins it, 18 units. Again, I'm taking Giannis out because of voter fatigue. I'm taking Steph out because I don't think the Warriors are going to be the NBA voting. They reward guys who play on the top teams. I don't think the Warriors are going to be there in the West. They very well could be. Steph's playing great, but I'm going to take Steph out. Jokic and Embiid, I think they're both playing great. They're both starting the year well. Jokic is putting up numbers that we've never seen from a center. 76ers are playing great basketball, and Embiid is clearly the best player on that team. But we haven't seen a big man win MVP since Dirk in 06, 07. And then before that, Kevin Garnett in 2003, 2004. So it's tough to kind of like give the edge to one of those guys despite their teams playing well, thinking the Nuggets are going to do well in the West, assuming the 76ers continue what they're doing in the East. I can't see it happening. So I take Jokic out. I take Embiid out. Giannis out for voter fatigue. Steph out because I don't think his team's good. So you're looking at Luca, KD, and LeBron. And then, of course, I threw AD in there at 18 to 1 just in case you're not convinced LeBron's the guy. So that's kind of what I have. I think in order for this to kind of happen, I think Luca is the clear front runner. The odds reflect that. The Mavericks got to start winning a few more games. They're like 8-10 right now, so it's not great. But I think once the Mavericks do get rolling and start winning a few more games here in the future, Luka's going to become even more relevant in this discussion than he is right now as the favorite. It's early, so a lot of things can change. But I was looking at that this morning, and the way I mapped it out just completely makes sense. I'm even on board the train not touching KD and just going straight Luka, straight LeBron. And if you just do that with Luka, again, you're looking at 20 units. LeBron, you're looking at 13.75, almost 14. If you just do the two of them, throw KD in, it changes a little bit, but not that big of a deal. So that's kind of where I'm thinking like betting the NBA MVP right now. And it makes a lot of sense in my head. I think it makes a lot of sense to really anyone that's been paying attention to the NBA at all and understands how that works. But I like it a lot. It came across me today. I knew that I couldn't fit it into like a 2-minute video to put it on Twitter. So I thought, hey, we'll just go live on YouTube. It's something I want to start doing more often, anyways, to talk about more picks, more long-term picks, a lot of futures and stuff like that. Maybe do like a units review at the end of the month. It gives me an opportunity to talk non-gambling stuff too. So again, hopefully this is something I start doing more often. gave you guys some picks, everything that I have kind of going on today and this weekend. Futures bet, if you want to look into that. I love NBA futures markets. It's a lot more straightforward than any other sport to me. Uh, Jordan Clarkson, sixth man of the year. I had that pre-flop at like 10-1. He's already down to 2-1. He's just Jazz stick him in there and he scores a bunch of points. It's kind of all they're looking for. He's kind of the only player there, except for maybe Chris Boucher at 5-1 right now, I think is where he's at. And then you can still get Lou Will at, I don't know, 20-1 probably. Everyone's going to throw Lou Will in there every year just because that's kind of what he's known for. But yeah, the NBA futures markets, I love it. I saw this. I thought it was really straightforward. Thought it was too obvious not to make a video on it. But again, couldn't fit in a Twitter video. But that's everything I have for you guys. Hopefully I'll start doing this more often, talking picks, maybe taking questions, stuff like that in the future. But hope you guys enjoy. Leave a thumbs up on the video. If you want to follow everything on Twitter, it's at @thebroker_picks. Tweet out picks every day, give you guys units. I'm very open and honest about everything I have. Anything I put money on, I tweet it out. Free picks every day, everything I got. I'm up. I don't even know. Having an unreal month. Best month I've ever had on a book. I'm sitting at plus 50 units since the new year. So starting 2021 off right. Golf has been most of the money. Of course, we got a decent amount of money on NFL. Soccer has been okay until yesterday, but just having a great month. So if you guys want to hop on the train while it's hot and rolling, at the broker picks on Twitter, everything you need there, other short videos and explanations and stuff like that. But hopefully I'll start doing this more often. Hopefully you guys enjoy. Sub to the channel, throw a like, head over to Twitter. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.